You know, birth control is in the news. You're a former gynecologist. Did you ever prescribe birth control?
Yes,
You did.
I almost was putting myself out of business. All this birth control, I had less babies, but no, I did. I prescribed birth control pills, certainly.
Now, I know you believe in legalizing marijuana, cocaine, any other drugs. How about the morning after pill?
Well, the morning after pill is a birth control pill, and you don't solve the problem. If people have reservations about abortion, the abortion is the issue. It isn't the birth control pill.
Right. Now, I know you are pro-life, but should a woman have the right to choose, do you believe?
Well, yeah, I think so. She should, but does the infant have a right to choose? If a newborn is destroyed right afterwards, it's a homicide. So I can't see a lot of difference between the two, the day before birth or the day after.
Well, that, of course, Ron Paul here, presidential candidate, always interesting. He on Jay Leno's couch, as Andrew said. Leno's still not funny. But the issue of, well, exactly, I'm sorry. But reproductive rights, that was a good line, has certainly taken center stage this year. And I got to tell you, with everything going on with the economy, you could have bet me I would have lost money that we'd be refighting culture wars here, even though fewer than 1% of voters count women's health or birth control as a top election year issue. Now, from the showdown over President Obama's policy requiring employers cover birth control to Limbaugh's slut rant, women's health has been making headlines, and state after state are taking this on, not just the national airwaves here. Across the country, a war on women has been quietly waged. And look, in 2011 alone, just looking last year, states enacted 92 laws limiting a women's access to a safe abortion. And look at the number of abortion restrictions enacted in the calendar year 2011, according to the Guttmacher Institute. This is what the country looked like in 2000. The darker the color, the more hostile towards Roe v. Wade. And in 2013 states had policies that were hostile towards abortions, according to that same study. Now, take a look at what the country looks like now. The number of states that have policies that either have more restrictions here or more hoops to go through has jumped to 26. And of the 15 states whose abortion policy changed substantially, all have become more restrictive. Now, here's just a quick little snapshot of what happened last year here. And again, this is come from the Guttmacher Institute, quote, and they said it was a year for the records. 5 states, Alabama, Idaho, Indiana, Kansas, Oklahoma, all passed laws banning abortion at 20 weeks after fertilization. 5 states, Arizona, Florida, Kansas, North Carolina, and Texas, moved to require that a woman gets an ultrasound before she can have an abortion, even when there's no medical compelling reason to do so. And this year, Virginia joined the states that I just mentioned. So safe to say, Republicans certainly have said this was a big issue, and you got to think they thought this thing through. Politically, they saw this as a winning issue. But the question is this a smart move in a general election? And forget what I think. Take a look at these poll numbers. Support for the president's policy that will require employers to cover birth control. Remember that whole fight? That's high among all segments of the population. Obviously Democrats, 83%, but 62% among independents, and even among Republicans, 42%. And the number is 63 when you factor all of them in and you put it in there. Okay, so let's jump to the political landscape. And Mitt Romney obviously has had to basically take the position, Bill, that he's with the right here on this. He was pro-choice, now he's pro-life, but forgetting his individual policies. You got to win women if you're going to win the White House. And those independent voters here, every poll I've looked at, trend to be more pro-choice than pro-life. You got to think the White House. And I think they already got an ad on this one, right at the DNC at least, right, Andrew? They're already going to be banging the drum. Is this a political winner, or is this something Republicans are going to say, why did we decide to do this in 2012?
I mean, I think 2 points. Most Republicans, certainly in the Northeast and the Northwest, in other areas of the country that tend to be more moderate, do not want to be talking about the social issues going into this election. They want to be talking about the fiscal issues, and on the fiscal issues, we think we can win. Second point, though, is that the abortion issue will not go away because the issue is changing as time goes by. For example, this is no longer I think most people accept that abortion is going to exist in America, that it's going to remain legal in most of the states. But you have issues now like gender selection abortions. You have what are called half abortions for twins. But you have issues that are popping up that are going to drive the conversation into the into the news media. In New York City, using Guttmacher's numbers, 40% of all pregnancies are now terminated in New York City by abortion, 60% in the African American community. There was a poll last year that 56% of pro-choice women in New York City think too many abortions are occurring.
I think everybody thinks too many abortions are occurring. I mean, ask anybody and they'll say they don't. But it's people, regardless of the issue specifically, people want choice. People want access to things. The technologies are available. There are things that are designed. And restricting those options, restricting those opportunities, I don't think that plays well. And then you get into this
use your guy,
here.
Bob Turner, all right? And from every account here, this is a guy who, if he gets a chance to have a fighting chance here, you know, it's tough to win in New York here, but he's got more personality, certainly, than a lot of other people who've tried to win. God forbid, you should have seen the field 2 years ago. Anyway, that said, does he really want to be talking about this?
No, we want to.
I mean,
we
it's
want to be
crazy.
talking about fiscal.
You want to talk about jobs, money, and...
I agree. What I'm saying is Republicans would like to be talking about fiscal issues, but the abortion issue will continue to come up because there's always a different angle on it.
But I'm saying even outside of the
Democrats
Northeast,
will
Don,
raise
right?
it because it's a winner.
Let me put it to you this way, Richard. You mentioned the movie Game Change that's on HBO. No disrespect to my friend here, Bill, but how did
does that, he's about to.
Yeah, it's about to come. How did Republicans get stuck with Sarah Palin? How? How did they get stuck with her?
She was a
Trying
nice
to
package,
close,
you know,
trying to close the gap
Yeah.
with women voters. I would venture to say it's almost a worse situation now with the issues attacking a woman's right to choose, and Republicans are going to find themselves across the country in a bigger dilemma this time around.
One last comment. I agree with what you say about local candidates here, but there is a large block of people in your party who want to see abortion made illegal and will not stop until that happens. So this issue will never go away. There will always be backdoor attempts to try to make it illegal or prohibitive.
There's always going to be stories, and Andrew pointed one out before, that a woman who had to wait to do an ultrasound to be compliant with the state law ended up having huge health complications. There's going to be stories like that. They're going to make ads of it. I'm just saying, you got a chance to win big here as a party, and I don't think it's a good play.
Yeah, I don't think it's a issue anybody wants to be talking about, or most people on the Republican side want to. I think the Democrats did a great job in flipping it. We were talking about religious liberty with the contraception issue, and David Axelrod and others. I thought we had it, and the Democrats did a wonderful job on that.